Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. My name is Angela. Thank you so much for tuning in. If you're new here, you're welcome. Consider subscribing and don't forget to turn on the bell icon so that I get to know anytime I post new videos. So today I'm going to show us how I recreated this female handkerchief kimono dress using the slash and spread method. So if you're interested, let's get started. But here I have my 6 yards of African print, although I will not be using all. And you can see I have my pattern paper spread out already, and I have the important measurements already marked out on my paper. So I'm going to explain what I have here. So this first line here is the starting point. That is where I'm going to mark out all my measurements from. And you can see this other line, this is the bust line, this is the waistline, this is the hip line, and of course the actual length of this dress. So the full length of this dress is 60 inches. That is the longest part. You know, this is a handkerchief dress, so the longest part is going to be by 60 inches and the shortest part is going to be 42 inches. So the first thing I'm going to do is to mark out the necessary measurements, after which I will now use the slash and spread method to add more volume to the dress. So now this is my starting line. I'm going to mark out the shoulder measurement, which is 16 inches divided by 2, and I'll have 8 inches. So I'll just mark 8 inches. Now you can see that I have 2 inches already marked out on this part, so all my measurements is going to start from this line. Okay, so before we finish this pattern, I'm going to show you the reason why I left this 2 inches market here. So I'm going to start from this line, not on this edge. I'm going to start on this line. So I will mark the shoulder measurement, which is 8 plus ½ inch for the sewing allowance, making it 8.5. So this is my 8.5, and I'll also bring it down to this bust line. So this is 8.5. So I have the armhole line connected, as you can see. Now from this starting point, the bust line that I have here is 9.5, and the waistline is 16.5. The hip line is 25 inches from this shoulder line. Okay, so I believe most of us already know this part, but I just want to quickly rush this side and then we move over to the main purpose of today's tutorial. So the next thing to do is to insert the neck width and the neck depth. So the neck width for this front, I'll be making it 3 inches. So this is 3 inches. For the neck depth, I am going to leave it open, because after everything I'm going to connect it. I want it to be like a kind of V, so I'm going to connect it straight to the waistline. So for the neck depth for this front, I'll leave it as it is for now. So I'll come down to this shoulder line and I'm going to mark 1 inch for the shoulder slope and then connect. So after connecting now to the neck width, we'll move over to the bust line to mark out the bust measurement. Okay, so for the bust measurement, I am working with 43 inches. If you divide that by 4, I'm going to have 10.75. So I'll just add 1 inch to whatever I have, whatever I'm working with. I'll just add 1 inch to the measurement. So this is 10.5 plus 1 inch, making it 11.5. So the 1 inch is just for ease, although at the end of the day you'll notice that this 1 inch is not that important, but I'm just explaining it this way in case you decide to make just a maxi A line. So this is how you go about doing that. So that is the point there. Then I'll come over to this line now to check what I have here. I have 8.5. So to get the midpoint, it is 4 1/4, and on that point I'll go in by 1 inch and then we connect to get the armhole curve. So I'll just connect it this way. You can actually use your free hand to do this part. Okay, so that is the armhole curve right there, and this is the bust point. So moving down to the waist now, I am going to mark out the waist measurement. Okay, remember I said all your measurements should start from this line, not on this edge. So the waist measurement is 30. All right, the waist measurement is 37 inches divided by 4, and I'll have 9.25. Then I'll add 1 inch to that and I will have 10.25. 0.25. I'll just mark the point. Okay, and I'll come over to the hip line. The hip line is 44. 44 divided by 4 is going to give me 11 plus 1 inch for ease, making it 12, and I'll have the point. So I'll just go ahead to connect the points together. So after connecting the points together, we are going to take whatever measurement that we have on that waistline, and we're going to take it down to the hemline. Okay, so this is what we have. Now I am working with 12. Remember, that is what I have on this hip line. So I'll just go to the hemline and mark out that same 12 as well, and then connect it to a straight line. Alright, this is the hemline, as you can see, and the the hip line, the measurement there, I used 12 inches for the hip. So that is what I just mark out on this hemline. This is 12 inches. Then I'm going to add extra 6 inches to that. It can be 5, it can even be 8, depending on how fluffy or how much volume you want the dress to have. So this is 6 inches. I'll just mark that there. This is going to form the A-line shape. So I'll just use my long ruler now and connect it to meet up to this hip line. So after doing that, I'll just cut it out, then we'll slash it and then spread it on our main fabric to cut out. Alright, after cutting it out, this is what I have. So assuming you want to make a simple maxi A-line dress, this is the pattern that you use. So this is what I have. This is the hem part. So now I'm going to explain why I marked out these 2 inches that you're seeing here. So the reason is that this front is going to be open, and I want it to kind of overlap each other. So I'm going to come down to this waistline, and I'll mark 1 inch out. Okay, that is half of these 2 inches here. I'll just mark 1 inch and take it down to the hem line, and then connect it straight. Okay, so this part now is going to I'm going to connect it again to this neckline to give it that V. Remember, I said that for the neck depth I'm not going to do anything because I want it to be a kind of V. So I'll just connect it from this neck width down to this 1 inch that I just marked out. Okay, but before all that, I need to mark it all the way down. That is the 1 inch, and then connect it till I get to this hem line. So I'll just quickly do that so we can finish up. So here you can see I just finished connecting that point. This is 1 inch all the way down to the hem line. So I'm going to join it again from this neck width. I'm going to connect it to meet up to this point on the waist line. Okay, then for this part I'll not be cutting it out now because I'll use the same pattern to cut out the back. So I'll just finish marking them out, and then when I finish cutting the back side, we can now cut all these parts off. So this is the shape that the front one is going to have. So I'll be cutting out all these after cutting out the back side. So now for the slash and spread method, this is where we'll be doing that. So I'll just come to this bust line, as you can see, and I'll just go up by 4 inches. Now if you want, you can make your slash and spread to end on this bust line or even on the waist, depending on how much volume you want the dress to have. So I'm just marking out 4 inches from the bust line, and then I'll connect it straight. Okay, so now you can see the way I connected this part. Now from this armhole, I will make sure that I have half an inch and also half an inch on this other side. Okay, so as we are slashing, it should not exceed these parts. These 2 parts here should not exceed that. Okay, then I'll check what I have here again. This is 4.5, and then I'll just get the midpoint and connect. So this is the midpoint now. Okay, so I'll just check what's this midpoint. I'll just place my tape as it is on that point to check what I have to this end. It is 6.75. So I'll just continue now to mark other 6.75. I'll just continue till I get to the hem line, because this is the first line that we're going to slash open is this. So I'll just continue like that, after which I'll now connect the point before slashing it open. So now just go ahead and connect. So like I said earlier, this depends on how fluffy or how much volume you want the kimono dress to have. So I'll just continue now till I get to this hemline. Alright, here you can see I just finished slashing it open following the line. And remember, this other side I also slashed that open, getting to that point that I marked. This is ½ inch. If you want, you can make it ¼ inch. So I'm going to place this on my fabric now and spread it out, okay, the way I want it to be. Okay, like I said, this part you can decide how much volume you want the dress to have. So this is how I'm going to spread it out on my African print. So using this slash and spread method, there are so many ways of doing that, but I'll be using this method because I want it as simple but very nice. So I'll go ahead and start by cutting out the back side. So all I'm going to do is to fold this in, because this should not be included for the back side, because the back side is not going to be open, it's closed. So I'm going to fold this 2 inches that I marked earlier before I started drafting out the pattern. I'll just fold it in, okay, and then use my paper sellotape to hold it down, and then I'll place this on the fabric and then spread it out and cut out the back side. So after cutting out the back side, now we are going to be cutting off these parts. Remember, the V neckline will now trim off these parts to cut out the front one. So let me just quickly fold this in and place on my fabric and then cut. Alright, this is the back side. I just finished cutting that, and you can see that for this part that I just slashed open, I only spread this other side and I left this side straight as it is. This is the back side. I don't want this side to have any joining, that is why I left it straight. And I'm also checking the how many yards I'm working with, so that the 6 yards will be enough. Okay, so that is why I'll be making this part like this. But for the front, I am going to spread the two open so that it's going to give me the volume that I'm looking for. So now I'm going to take my pattern now. Like I said earlier, I will be cutting off the V neckline before placing it to cut the front side. So I'll just open this part up now, and also remember to cut the back neck depth after cutting it out on your fabric. So I'll just keep this aside and then mark out my 1 inch for the neck depth, and then connect it to this neck width. It is very easy, and then I will cut. Alright, like I was saying, this is the front. I will go ahead and cut out the V neckline before cutting it on my fabric. Okay, so this is the V neckline, and then this other 1 inch here, I'll be cutting it off, is not needed. Okay, so I'll just take it, cut it off, and then spread it out like I explained earlier to cut out the front side. Alright, this is the front after cutting it out, and you can see that I have enough space. I really spread it out well on this side. So now the next thing to do is to create the handkerchief effect that I want the hemline to have. So I'll just go to the hemline, which is what I have here. Now you can see that on this hemline that it is straight. Normal, when you use the slash and spread method, it's supposed to have a kind of circle shape on the hemline, but I did not take that circle shape. I just cut it straight. because we need this area to be in a square, in a straight line, so that we can easily create the handkerchief effect. So now for the shorter part of this dress, I want it to be 42, so I will just mark from the shoulder to where I have my 42, and it is here. So this is my 42, that is the point. So all I'm going to do, it is very easy, it's just to connect it now from this point straight to this edge that we have here. So I'll just use my ruler and connect it straight, then cut it off. It's very easy. So I'll just quickly do that so that we can join the dress, because I'll not be adding any lining to this dress. So here you can see I just finished joining the dress. This is the shoulder and this is the side. Now for the handkerchief effect, the same way you cut the front, that is how you're going to cut the back side. So this is the front. You can see I marked the V, or the handkerchief effect, to meet up to that center front. So this is what you should have. Okay, now this is what I have here. This is the shape. Okay, and you can see that I did the same for the back side. So I'm going to cut out the sleeve now. I want to use a simple butterfly sleeve to add to this dress. So to do that, it is very easy. The first thing to do is to measure what you have on this armhole all together. So for mine, it is 21 inches. So that is what you will use. If I open up my pattern now, you will see that I have 21 inches, both the width and the height. Okay, so I have 21 inches here, and on this other side it is 21 inches as well. So we just fold it same way you fold when you want to mark out a full circle pattern. All right, here I have my paper already folded. This is my paper is already in 4 folds. So I'm going to mark out what I have here. From this point I have 10.5, so I'll just keep on moving my tape and connect it to the other end, maintaining that 10.5. Okay, when I get to this other end, I will just cut it out. So after cutting it out, now we're going to alter it to give us the butterfly sleeve pattern. All right, so let me just quickly finish up with this part. So this is what I have. I'm going to open it up now. Okay, so this is what I have. Now you can see the line that divided the 4. Here I have 4 quadrants, and this line is what divided that. So I'm going to start with this one that is facing, this one that is towards me. The first thing to do is to measure what you have from this center point to this other side, and divide that by 3. Okay, so I have 10.5. So I'm going to divide that by 3, and I will just fold my tape into 3 and then mark the point on this line. All right, this is the point. After marking it out, you can see that I have 1, 2, 3. I just divided what I have here by 3. So the next thing to do is to check what I have, either from this point to this point or from this center point to this. It's still the same, and then we are going to take it round, okay, and mark it all the way, following the way it is. We'll keep on marking to form another smaller circle. Okay, we'll keep on rotating it this way, and then we'll connect it round to form a smaller circle. So this is how to make a simple butterfly sleeve. Okay, so I'll keep on moving then you just connect, and then we'll cut it out. It's as easy and simple as that. So this part now that is shorter is going to be on exactly on the armhole or the armpit area. Okay, so this is what I have. So I'll just fold it now. From this point I'll just fold. So I'll just fold, and then we're going to cut this out. So I'll just cut it out. Okay, and if you open it up, this is the shape that we have. So this part is going to be on the sleeve, while this other side that is shorter will be exactly on that armpit area. Okay, so this is what I have. Now I am going to reduce this part because I don't want it to be too long. I want mine to be very small, so I'll just reduce it a bit, either by 1 inch. So to do that, I'll just mark the 1 inch all around, following this shape, and then cut it out. Then I'll place on my fabric and cut out the shape so we can join it. So we're going to open it on this side. Okay, so this is where we open it, and this is what we have. So right now I'll just place on my fabric and cut it out, so I'll join it to the dress and show you the final look. But before that, I'll also show you how to attach the band to it. But for the band, it's optional. If you want, you can use the same fabric you're working with to attach as the band, or you can use a separate fabric to do that. So before all that, let me just cut this out and fix it to the dress.